Giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Hawachakwadash. Say double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So I was meditating on how the Lord is speeding things up and he's preparing the wicked for the evil day, as well as 2/3 of our people. And you always gonna have people that's gonna rally for Esau, Edom, especially of our people. As you see brothers doing response videos on them and basically trying to say Esau, Edom is, they can't believe in this faith of Israelite because it condemns Esau, Edom. And no matter how much you try to convince them of the truth, especially in the end of days now more than ever, when this man has made himself manifest that he won't change, he never has changed. Even though over there what's going on in the land of Gaza, I mean, that's proof by itself that if he had his way, this is exactly what he would do. And the only issue that they have is those people over there, you could say Palestinians or Ishmael or Arabs. But what our people fail to realize is that if that was you over there, they would still do the same thing to you, and they would label you evil or whatever it is. This is just the type of person he is. He's just the wicked. He believes he's the supreme, and he hates everybody else, especially our people. But our people, they're stuck on the Stockholm syndrome. And there are times where when I watch the news and I'll see some judgment done that Esau has maybe committed against our people. And, there are times where I, you could say sentimental, right? I look at Jake, and sometimes I do wish that the Lord had rather just punish us with his own hands versus using the hands of these people. Now, the prophets of old, they also, like Ezra, he also said the same thing, which I'm going to read. But then when you get these Israelites that come against you, the ones that give you the most trouble is going to be your own people, right? Flagging your videos, trying to come up against you, running to the devil, Esau, Edom, like Vocab Malone, selling our people out. When you see stuff like that happen repeatedly, then you just understand why the Lord is going to use this man to bring the judgment. And then you say, you get all a little emotional for your own people. And then you realize they show you to themselves how much they hate the Lord and how much they hate the truth and how much they're going to side with this man because they're stuck on, Stockholm syndrome. They look at this man as a god. Then you snap back in reality. You say, now I understand why the Lord is going to use the very same people that these people worship. These people, I'm talking about our people who worship the so-called white man, the so-called Jewish man, to use them, to use these Edomites to bring the judgment upon them as a reality and as a reward for their wickedness, because they chose not the Lord, but they chose them as their God. So you're going to feel the wrath of your God because that's who you chose. And if you ask me, that's what I call sweet justice. As Ezekiel 16, verse 35 says, wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh, talking about the nation of Israel. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by thy blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. And that can go into children's sacrifice, which today is the same as abortions. How many Israelite women swear by abortions? They believe that is so-called health care. They believe that is something that's needed. Even though the very same woman, Margaret Sanger, who founded Planned Parenthood, the very origins of the reason it was brought forth was to destroy our people. And they had to trick you into doing so. They lied to you to try to convince you to say, and made a plan to say, we need to convince them that they need to kill their own kids so that we could do away with their population. Fast forward today, our women don't need convincing. They do it willingly now. And they justify themselves in doing it. Verse 37, it says, behold, Therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and with them that thou hast loved, and with all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. The other lovers is the other nations that we went to jump into bed with. We abandoned our husband, which was Yahweh, and we wanted to follow the other nations because we believed that their way was good. We were seduced by their idols, their way of living. And we said, let's follow after their customs. Let's be like them. So the Lord said, since you want to run off to your lovers, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you into their hands. As verse 38 says, and I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood are judged. And I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy. And I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare. They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through with their swords. So he's just going to give you into their hands, and that's what he did to us. That's part of the judgment. Because even Ezra in 2 Ezra chapter 5, because he pleaded, and he asked the Lord to, if possible, to just touch us, deal with us himself. This is verse 30. It says, if thou didst so much hate thy people, yet shouldest thou punish them with thine own hands. Because that's what he asked for. If you like verse 28, he says, and now, O Lord Yahweh, why hast thou given this one people over unto many? And upon the one root hast thou prepared others. Why hast thou scattered thy only people among so many? And they which did gainsay thy promises and believe not on thy covenants have trodden them down. Talking about the heathen. If thou didst so much hate thy people, yet shouldest thou punish them with thine own hands. Because there is this feeling, right? This disdain feeling to see your own people get mistreated or trodden down by the other nations. And there are times where I would, I said I much rather the Lord just do it versus having these heathen do it, because that's kind of a shame. But it's sweet justice, because how much better to show these people that the person you worshiping is not the God, but indeed the devil, than for the devil to show himself that he is the devil. How much more, how better can you show them? Especially when you get this truth and you go out and you teach your own people. And you go out to teach them. And this is exactly what the Lord sent Ezekiel to do, because the Lord basically said, Ezekiel, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about as far as these people. You're going to see it because you're going to experience it. You're going to go out there and you're going to teach these people, and they're going to show you just how much that they hate me. So what does Ezekiel go out and do? He goes out, he prophesies, and his own people made a mockery of him. And then you sit there and you say, you know what? Now I see why the Lord is going to judge you all accordingly. Because the ones that give us the most trouble are our own people. Like even that Ron Dalton character. He wants to prove that Japhet is the so-called white man. Why does he want to prove that? Because then that takes judgment away from the so-called white man. That's what it's all about. It's that Stockholm syndrome. I must save the so-called white man at all costs. So we're going to say that the so-called white man's Japhet. They're saying that to try to excuse him, exonerate him from judgment. That's what it's all about. We're not fooled. We've done this plenty of times. And then you try to convince them, no. See, you can't go off of who currently inhabited the land. You got to go off the nations of people, and you got to go off the spirit. They're going to buck up against you. They're going to run a vocab alone because they're trying to show their allegiance with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and try to say, yeah, I'm in the league. I'm in a league with you. I disagree with them, and I turn my back on the Lord. So when you see that enough, you say, okay, this is why the Lord said he's going to use this very same man to bring that judgment. So these people don't want Esau, Edom to be the devil, don't want him to be judged. Okay, the Lord is going to let this devil sharpen his sword and come down on these very same people with wrath. Then what they're going to do? Because they're advocating for them. Whenever our own people come up against us, they're advocating for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They're saying, no, there's some good people. They're not this people you claim them to be. They're good. I trust them. I believe in them. I believe in their system. Okay, so what better for them to get the wake-up call, which for majority of them will be too late, when this devil shows his horns and shows that I am the wicked that the scriptures talk about. Thank you for your allegiance. Now die. Now go in a concentration camp. Now take this mark of the beast. Now take this chip. Now be my slave. That's sweet justice. And that's why the Lord said he's going to laugh in the end. And since we're on his team, we're also going to laugh. Because we're made sport of when we go out there and teach. You do it when you go out there enough, it's natural. We all know. You get this truth. You're just such good news. You just can't wait to tell your own people. And you're excited. And the first people you go to is the ones close to you, your friends and your family. And then you find out that they want nothing to do with the truth. And they'll get mad at you for trying to enlighten their eyes. And that's when your whole perspective changed. But you're really just experiencing exactly what the prophets had to experience, which is exactly what the Lord wants you to experience. Because then you're going to see exactly why I say what I say about these people. Thus said the Lord. That's what Ezekiel had to realize. You're going to see what type of people you're dealing with when you go out there and you're going to talk to them. Jeremiah, you the same. Isaiah, you the same. All the prophets, you all the same. You're going to find out the type of people. And then what did Jeremiah say? He said, Lord, they send a snare for me. And all I try to do is tell them the truth. Reward them for their evil deeds. So the same thing eventually happens. You see the type of people you are. They become your enemy because of the truth. And then they want to come after you. Then they rally a campaign to come against you in teaching the truth. So what do you say? Now I see why the Lord is going to judge them accordingly. You deserve it. Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 33. I, Ezra, received a charge of the Lord upon the Mount of Oreb, that I should go into Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught. They despised the covenant of the Lord Yahweh. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, or nations, this is how you know the Lord can refer to his own people as heathen. Because when you read in the translation, they say nations. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Meaning those who have understand, let them understand. So all the prophets were made sport of. That's also in there. Sport of the prophets. First Ezra 1 and 50. Nevertheless, the power of their fathers sent by his messenger to call them back, because he spared them as his tabernacle also, But they had his messengers in derision, and look, when the Lord spake unto them, they made sport of his prophets. So far forth that he, being wroth with his people for their great ungodliness, commanded the kings of the Chaldees to come up against them, who slew their young men with the sword, yea, even within the compass of their holy temple, and spared neither young man nor maid, old man nor young child among them, for he delivered all into their hands. So you want to mock the message of the Lord? You want to come against your own people for trying to tell you that you're special, that the Heavenly Father and His Son look like you, so-called black man, and that you're the God's chosen people? You're gonna get mad and try to come up against them and make a campaign against them? Japhet is the so-called white. Anything to take the judgment off Esau, Edom, to come up against them, because you really rally for them and you choose them as their God. You choose them as your God, shall I say? The Lord's just going to give you into their hands, and they're going to treat you however they treated you, just like they've been treating you, and how they're going to still treat you. That's okay, because this devil has martial law prepared. He has his microchip prepared. He's making your lives literally a living hell, and you still want to rally for him. And that's why the Lord said He's going to allow this man to judge 2/3 of His own people. Psalms 106, verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord Yahweh commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan, and the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions. Wherefore was the wrath of the Lord Yahweh kindled against His people, insomuch that He abhorred His own inheritance. And He gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. See, that's judgment. So when you see all these people coming up against us just to rally for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, there was this one so-called sister who came out just to say, yeah, I'm an Israelite, but y'all problem is y'all hate y'all brother Esau. How you call yourself in the truth, yet you're going to say that Esau, Edom is your brother? You don't understand what you're involved in. And that's how you know a lot of them are just pretending. They're just in it to be an Israelite, but still, oh, I love everybody. I love Esau, Edom. And it's all about just getting Esau, Edom in the kingdom. They're not rallying for no Arabs. They're not rallying for the Chinese. They're only concerned about Esau, Edom, because they've been conquered by them. And they don't want to let go of him. They have that Stockholm Syndrome. They want to look at him as a guy. So they hear you come up and you say, thus said the Lord is going to pay back Esau, Edom for everything that he did for us. And they want to come against you. So what better way for them to get their judgment than to let the very same men that they're rallying for show his horns and put them in concentration camps and slay them and put a microchip in them. And then the Lord's going to turn his back on them and give them to their own devices. And that's exactly how we're going to feel. We're going to laugh as well when we see that happen. You go through this enough and you teach the word enough and you have your own people come at you, against you enough, you just can't wait to see that. I would say a so-called enemy in the world is like an enemy, but mutual friends. But he would try to sabotage any cool relationships I have or whatever, even if I'm cordial with other people, because of the truth. He would tell them behind my back, he said he hate white people. He hate this, he hate that. And to think he doing me harm by trying to go and be super buddy with the other Edomites And all he ever did was get harmed in the process, because in the end, they still let him know, look, you still a nigga to us. Just like water and oil, you can shake the bottle as much as you want, but when it settles, is they're going to separate. And he think he's doing me harm, but he only harming himself. And then I say, you know what? The more you rally for them, the more you're just going to keep getting pricked. And it's only when you experience it yourself so much, when you go out there and you try to teach so much, when you got your own people coming against you so much, video after video, is then when you praise the Lord for his judgments, you understand his judgments. Now I see why the Lord is going to use this man to bring severe wrath upon 2/3 of his people, because they deserve it. Well deserved is the Lord going to enact sweet justice upon his enemies by using the very same people that they want to rally for. Perfect. They want to hide behind America and rally for Esau, Edom. Let them fall with this man while this man come down upon them with great wrath. So with that, shalom.